Password boxes are a pain to deal with in WPF MVVM applications. Today I'm going to be showing you guys why these password boxes are a pain to deal with and what you can do to solve this problem. So I have this MVVM application set up, and I have this login view model where users can provide a username, a password, and then they can click a button and invoke this login command. So just for this example, let's take a look at this. Type in my username and type in my password and log in. There we go. But obviously the biggest problem here is that this password field isn't a password box. We're not blocking the password. Ideally we would want this to be a password box and we wouldn't actually see the password. So for example, instead of a text box, I want a password box. And instead of showing the password in plain text, it's going to show it with little bullet points. So there is no text property, instead there is a password property. So we're just going to simply bind to this and everything should work, right? Wrong. The issue we have here is a binding cannot be set on the password property of a password box because that password property is not a dependency property. So if you guys are unaware with dependency properties, we're going to be going over them in just a second, but all you need to know is that you can't bind to this password box. So we need a different solution here. So overall, we just need a custom password box. So let's go into our project and let's add a new folder here. We're going to call this components. And we're going to create an item in here. It's just going to be a simple class. And this is going to be the bindable password box. So you might be thinking, okay, we're going to extend the password box. That means that we're going to inherit from password box, right? Password box, inheriting, and what the heck, we can't do that. Cannot derive from the sealed type password box. So if we look at this password box, as we see it's sealed, that means you can't derive from it. So we're not going to be deriving from password box. So in this case, inheritance is not the solution. So I'm actually just going to delete this, and instead we're going to have to take a composition approach to this. So let's create a new item here, and the best way to do composition of controls is to use a user control. So this is going to be the bindable password box, and here we go, we got our XAML, and of course we have our code behind as well. So this bindable password box, we are going to specify a password box on here, and we're also going to give it a name. So we'll call this just password box, and in fact not even going to put an underscore under it. And now we can access this password box in our code behind right here. And that's going to be important in just a second. But for now, let's go back to our login view and let's think about how we want to use this bindable password box. So I want to use it right here. So let's put that as our control. We can import that namespace for our components. And the way we want to use this is we want to set the password and we want to bind to it. So we need to provide this property for a password on our bindable password box. So let's go into that and we're going to create a property for the password. Now as we recall, the issue with the original password box is that the password property wasn't a dependency property, so we couldn't bind to it. So that means our password property is going to be a dependency property, so you can use the prop.dp snippet. There we go. And this is going to be the password property. And it's just going to be a string, and the owner class is going to be our bindable password box, and by default we'll make this string.empty. Let's move this onto its own line, and now if we go back to our login view, there we go, our password property is available and we're going to be able to bind to it. So now we need to just make sure that this password property is in sync with our password box, and to do that, what we can do is register to this password changed event on the password box. So now we have this, and I'm going to actually capitalize this. And now we're going to be notified whenever the password in our password box changes. And we're going to take that password that's going to be on our password box. And there we go, we can get the password, and we're going to set this on our password property right here. So that's going to set the value on this password dependency property and that's going to be sent back to our binding. So this is a very simple solution, and let's see it in action. We get our password blocked out, and we have a problem here. So if I go to my login view model and I put a breakpoint on the setter, as you can see, whenever I type in here, it doesn't actually send a value back to this password that we're binding to. And the reason for that is because this binding on our login view does not bind two-way by default. So we need to set mode to two-way. So that means that this password is going to be sent back to our view model. And now if I type in a password, let me go ahead and put this breakpoint back. There we go, we're sending our password back to our view model. So let's go ahead and test out this login. So I'll put in Sean, log in, and there we go, we get our password sent to our view model. Now that is fantastic. But we have a bit of an issue here. So let's say that our application actually saves the password of the user. So when they come back to that login screen, there's already a password there. So that means this password property already has a value. So let's give it a default value of just test, and let's run this and see what happens. So as you can see, our password field is blank, and the reason for that is because if we go back to our password dependency property, we don't do anything when this gets set from the binding. So what we need to do is set up a callback here so that whenever this gets set from our binding, we set that value inside of the password box. So we're always getting the value from the password box, but we never set that value on the password box. And we can do that just in this property metadata. We can set up a property changed callback. So our callback, we're just going to call this password property change, and let's generate that method. And this callback takes a dependency object and these property changed event args. We're not going to get into these, but this dependency object is actually going to be our bindable password box. It's going to be the actual instance of it. So what we can do is take that dependency object and just check, make sure it is a bindable password box as we expect, and we'll call this password box. And we're going to take our bindable password box and we are going to update password, and that's going to be a method that we generate. So let's generate that method. And now that we have this method, what we're going to do is set our password box password to our password binding. Let's actually move this down here so we can see with this other method. So when the password box password changes, we send that value of the password box back to our binding, and then when our binding changes, we set that value onto our password box. So now we're keeping our password box in sync with our binding with the value on our view model. So let's see that in action. Alright, so there's our password from our view model. So that's correctly being set. And let's type something in here. And as you can see, this is kind of weird, okay? So it puts the cursor at the beginning every single time we type. And let me actually clear all this and type in test. And let's just do a username. And let's see what the password is. So it's test backwards. So this is all messed up. And the reason it's messed up is because we are typing in our password box, and that sets our password. And then right when we set this password, of course it's going to fire this, and it's going to set the password box password. But basically, we don't really need this to execute if we're setting the password property from here. We only need this to execute if we're setting the password from outside of this control. So all we can do for that is just define a flag up here. So a boolean for is password changing. And what we can do is set is password changing to true right here. And then when we're done changing it, set it to false. And then for this update password, we're only going to update that value if is password changing is false. So we can move that into this if statement right here. So that means this isn't going to be set if we're setting the password whenever the user types into the password box, because there's really no reason to set that anyways. We already know the values are synced. So now everything should be fine with our password box. Okay, great, we get our initial value. So let's just add on to that There we go, our cursor's not going all over the place, and let's just put a placeholder in there and log in, and there we go. I get my test 123. My password box is exactly what I need. So one last thing I want to show off, as you can see in our login view, we have to define all of these things right here, but we can actually set these as the default for our password property. So we can get rid of all these, and if we go into our dependency property for this password, we can change this to framework property metadata, and if we look at this, we can configure this a little bit better. So we have these framework property metadata options, and we can set one right here. Binds two-way by default, so that means we won't need to explicitly set that on our binding. And then we have a few more options we can set. So I think it's the last constructor. So as you can see, this one gives us update source triggers. So we're going to have to set values for all these properties in between. I think we can just do null for the coerce value callback. Is animation prohibited? We can set that to false. And then update source trigger, we can set that to property changed. And that's what we originally had on our binding, but now we don't explicitly need it, and everything should still work. So I'm going to type in there, and there we go. We still get our password, just a little bit less boilerplate on this binding. Anyways, that is how you solve the password box issue in a WPF MVVM application. All you have to do is set up this bindable password box user control, set up your own dependency property for a password, since the default password box doesn't give us one, and then you can specify callbacks for this property changing and handle the password change on the password box, and make sure that this password property is in sync, and then the data will correctly be sent to your view model. If you have any questions, criticisms, or concerns, be sure to leave them below in the comment section. But other than that, leave a like or subscribe for more. Thank you.